Welcome back to the Reidel Law Firm Odyssey and Library channel. Today we're going to chat a bit about the CBS documentary, Arming Ukraine. I might have some commentary on that since I'm in the international trade space. So before we do that, if you need help in imports and export compliance, if you need help in anti-money laundering regulations and laws, if you need help with franchising matters, that's what we do. We do it well. Reach out to you. Would love to hear about your concept or what you're doing and how we might be able to help you out. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So this week, or this past week, CBS came out with a documentary titled Arming Ukraine. And I think it came out Sunday, some point afternoon or whatever, evening maybe. I didn't actually get a chance to watch it because it was pulled down the next day. And their explanation for that was that the U.S. government, I guess, stated that the documentary was wrong. I guess was incomplete. I don't remember exactly how they phrased it, but yeah, the U.S. government contested it. It's factual basis, and CBS self-censored. They pulled it right down, which is crazy to me. I mean, imagine something like that like during the Iraq War, where people were talking about where are the WMDs, right? And I mean, there's plenty of stories on that didn't get taken down, right? And it was good journalism. Yeah, so now it's just they took it down. It's gone. There was a couple, I think, clips I saw from it since it's been deleted that people saved. And the premise of the documentary was that the vast majority of the weapons that we are sending, we being the West, right, NATO countries, sending to Ukraine are not reaching the front lines and essentially disappearing. And so I practice international trade law, import-export compliance. I handle ITAR regulations. I handle controlled exports under BIS or DDTC. So this is arms. This is dual-use technology. We handle those. I'm familiar with the regulations. I'm familiar with what has to go on. There's a lot. A hint, that's why people like me exist. It's to do all the paperwork for that and make sure nobody goes to jail. And I know people in the industry who are doing this right now in Ukraine. I've not done anything with Ukraine. I haven't had any clients that are doing business there. If they are, it's going through a U.S. government program, so my assistance isn't necessary. But anyway, so I've talked to people working and sending arms in the logistics chain or as a supplier to Ukraine. It's a small industry. We all kind of know each other. We have our own industry associations. And the word on the street that I have in the industry matches exactly what that documentary says. The vast majority of the products, weapons that we're sending, we have no assurance, we have no guarantee, we cannot prove that they get where they're supposed to go. And then beyond that, also, for what I hear on the street, at least with other practitioners, is that the Ukrainians are not paying for anything, and they're upfront about it. It's not like, I'm not saying they're stealing or anything, but they understand that the governments, NATO governments, and a lot of other organizations are basically footing the bill for everything. So even in the instance, the one that I chatted with another practitioner was about, I think it was a water generator, water purification that was donated, was going to be sent to Ukraine, but Ukraine did not want to pay for the shipping. They didn't want to pay for the logistics, which wasn't very much. I don't know, 20, 30 grand. You can get free, water, create clean water for your village or city or whatever. And it was unacceptable to them. So, and they waited. They basically held out until some other charity, I guess, or some government, I'm not clear on who, but footed the bill and paid for it. And it's really kind of crazy. So just sharing that story, everything that is true. That's happening on the ground. What is happening in the supply chain is that goods are coming from NATO countries. They're going to the border with Ukraine, primarily Poland. I'm trying to think. Maybe like Moldova, maybe Romania or Moldova, or what else? Maybe Hungary or something. But primarily Poland is the conduit for where the arms are coming into the Ukraine. And what's happening is that the Ukrainians are taking over from there. They're not allowing, either they're not allowing, or they're not permitting, or they're strongly discouraging final or last mile logistics, right? Delivery to the customer. And when the supplier, the manufacturer, or whoever's donating or supplying those weapons does not control final mile, last mile delivery and logistics in that supply chain, there is zero assurances that those weapons are getting to who they're supposed to and where they need to go. That type of situation is totally unacceptable in basically everywhere in the world. You will not be permitted to ship a weapon if you don't have the last mile logistics in your supply chain assured and compliant and proven that it's going to where it needs to go. Now, obviously, there are ways around that, right, and things that you can do to obfuscate that. But good luck going to DDTC, right, who license weapons exports in the United States. Going to DDTC and say, look, hey, we got our end user certificates, we know where it's going, but we're just going to ship it to this point, and then, I don't know, someone else is taking over from there. Not acceptable, not going to happen. And so that's what's happening. It's crazy. It's total anarchy. It is. I agree. When I saw the figure, the documentary claimed, I think they quoted someone there that only about 30% of the weapons are getting to the front lines. That sounds correct to me. I don't have a reason to doubt that. And just understanding supply chains, understanding similar situations in around the world, that's what happens. They're lost. People steal them. People take them, sell them. And what's really awful is that the Ukraine conflict, and I've commented on this in the past, it was not very popular in February when I made these comments, but basically this conflict and all of the arms that the NATO countries are sending into Ukraine or being captured from the front lines by the Ukrainian forces or whatever, all of those weapons will basically go and supply the instability in the world for the next probably 2 decades, for the next 20 years. It's exactly what happened in Afghanistan during the Soviet-Afghan War, where the U.S. and our allies funded the Mujahideen and the Taliban, frankly, and that fueled instability in that region and around the world for well over 20 years, a long time. It's happening in Ukraine. All these weapons are going to find their ways to conflict zones, and they're going to be stashed away. They're going to be used by insurgents and other militants, on all sides. Doesn't matter where you think, what politics you believe, they're going to be used in that conflict. So it's not good. It's a really bad situation, I think. It's for the world and for peace and security in general. So anyways, want to give some commentary on that. I don't know. It's probably not very popular for folks in my field to be blunt like this, but that's the reality of it, folks. I mean, this is happening, and it's, I don't know, it's something that, folks, you got to start paying attention to. Unfortunately, CBS, they took a little bit of a stand in putting it up there, but immediately took it down. It's gone. I don't know if they put it back up, it'll probably be highly censored again. But I have no reason to doubt the figures that they had in their initial documentary. So, unfortunately, it's gone to the world. I'll maybe able to post a link or something. I don't know if anyone saved it. I'll have to look. But so that's some commentary. Look, if you need help with international trade, import-export compliance, handling trade matters or weapons sales or brokering or something, that's what we do. Reach out to us, Reidel Law Firm. Love to help you out, hear your story, and make sure you're compliant, keep you out of trouble, keep you out of jail. So we'll chat with you next time, and hope you found that interesting. Take care.